You guys can hear me pretty well. Okay. So prior to prior to a lot of these people coming out with these newer videos regarding uh, the the shutdown of CERN and all of that, it was about a month ago through 2 weeks ago. So for 2 weeks prior to now, I have been getting a download stating that CERN was going to blow up. Okay? I kept getting that, but I was like, I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that. And then all of a sudden, not that long later, right? Because I've been, doing a lot. Okay, I've been traveling a lot. I've been doing a lot. I've been, you know, uh, traveling to these different places and dismantling spell work and, doing all this stuff. So, anyways, the point is that I've had a lot of downloads and I've had a lot of insight in everything that I've been, seeing and doing. But I haven't really had the time in actually doing what I've been doing to come and do lives and really talk about all this stuff. So one of the things that I've been seeing more lately is that people are talking about, which I was like, oh snap, like I was getting downloads a month ago about CERN. But my downloads was that CERN was going to blow up. It wasn't nothing that it was just going to shut down or whatever. I kept hearing that CERN is going to blow up. I don't know how it's going to up, whatever. Maybe they meant it's going to go viral, blow up like, it's going to blow up like it's going to be viral. I don't know. But I just kept hearing it's going to blow up. And so, obviously it could mean that too, because that's a form of blowing up, like, as in, that's like an old school saying, when you blow up, it's like famous, blow up, like popular, okay? And that could also be the meaning as well, because CERN for many years was popular, and then it went like very to an insignificant, like most people weren't really, talking about it that much anymore. And that's why I was just like, okay. Now I knew, for years that CERN had been attempting to find, well, first locate the God particle. Allegedly, they did in 2012, but to me that's a lie. So they kept attempting to find the God particle in the timeline that I was on, in whatever dimension that timeline was on. They had not found the God particle. They were looking for it, and every time they would look for it, the shit disappeared on it, and it was like magically unable to be pinned down, so to speak, be located like by them. It would always disappear. It's very magical, the God particle. So anyways, so that part I don't believe. I don't think so, because that it's magical and it was disappearing on them, that is its nature towards, that's like booby traps being set like by the infinite so that they would never get their hands on it. Okay, so that allegedly they did, that I think that's bullshit. I think okay. So the the other thing about this whole alleged CERN situation is that between about 2012, when they allegedly got awards and all this stuff on whatever timeline, that I don't believe that happened, because I know on the timelines I've been on, that was not even like a possibility. However, between 2012 and 2023, I want to say, there has been concern about CERN, but more so in messing with the fabric of the matrix, more so like changing specific events or times, or kind of like if you were to think about Back to the Future and how like they attempted to change specific things in the past or whatever. It was more so getting that, where they changed something and that one change had a ripple effect throughout the rest of the timeline. Okay, so say that some individual didn't end up meeting another one or whatever it is. It's like they, so that was more of the concern, that there were specific key events, key points that they were attempting to alter or change or completely end altogether, right, from of a happening or whatever. But in all actuality, even before CERN, there have been people time traveling up and down the timeline from, they've been doing this, right? So this is not something that's new. So let me just say this: that even in the days of, you know, Thomas Edison and all of them, when, and what's the other guy's name? Who was working with them? Oh God, it's J.P. Morgan and all of them. Okay, so when Nikola Tesla was working on a lot of his experiments, he even, made statements and different things that he knew that there were beings that were coming and messing with his actual scientific work. So he was known to actually do things and leave things in a particular way so that he would know if anything had been touched, if anything had been moved, altered, if anything had been messed with in any way, shape, or form, right? So he specifically had things that he would do so that he would know that it had not been moved, touched, altered in any way while he was not in the presence of whatever it was, like his scientific experience, or, it's it's much like what I think of in like feng shui, right? Where you actually put all of your property, private property, within, like, let's say an office space, a home, or whatever, and everything in a way it has to be in a specific direction at a certain angle. It has to be in a certain area of the home, or there's certain rules, right? So even if he wasn't practicing and way, which is a discipline. I don't know if y'all can see me because it's not showing me anything on this side. That's crazy. But the clock is still counting. It's not showing me my face or anything. And it's really like shut down, reconnected, and then when it reconnected, it didn't pull up. That's crazy. Anyways, I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to restart it, or I'm going to have to do it later, 11:55, when I looked at the timestamp. And when it reconnected, it was actually at 11:11, which is a portal. So anyways, what I was saying about Nikola Tesla is that he literally would do specific things. I don't know when it actually like stopped and started reconnecting, but it's like when I get to key points about the information, it's like that's when he wants to act funny with the reconnecting and stuff like that, which is very odd. But it is what it is. We already know what it is. And so, um, anyways, the only main thing that I wanted to come and tell you guys, 1, 2, 3 to the 8. It was 12:38 right now, which is 1, 2, 3, 8. Is that I kept having a month ago that, repeatedly for 2 weeks. Actually, up until like more recently, I was still having it, come to my mind. Like, I guess you could say a channeling or download what I said about CERN, and that it just kept saying that it's going to blow up. And so, not sure if it's like a figuratively, like it's about to be popular again, and as it did get in 2 weeks, like as in that it's being talked about again, or that it's gonna actually blow the fuck up, like blow up. And I don't know how, I don't know who's gonna do it, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but that is a possibility too. But the point is that, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it more recently. I was like, oh God, I probably should have stopped and like actually made a video about that. But still, I just, sometimes there's certain things you just don't want to say or put out there because you're like, CERN is gonna blow up. Like, I mean, anyways, if you don't